Here we go. Where is my handy dandy stool? Don't mind me, guys. Just hang out for a second. Let's see. So I'm hoping the audio is tight and everything is fine. If not, I know if you folks are just now tuning in, I know you'll let me know. The storms have passed. It is a gorgeous day out here in the southern Arizona desert. It is absolutely beautiful. My name is Chuck the Sandman Collins, man. I want to get to gardening. We have got some cool stuff to talk about today. I assure you, I promise you. First off, thanks for just taking the time to hang out. If you are just now signing in, please, 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 if you have any notes, if the audio's messed up, anything of that nature, please let me know. Don't hesitate to tell me. The sun is shining. It is an absolutely stunning day out here in the desert. We're going to talk a little bit about tea today. And then we're going to do a lot of trimming in the garden because we had 2 days of absolutely phenomenal rain in the desert. Like seriously, like if you live in the southwestern desert, you really appreciate what happened yesterday. For those who were adversely affected by it, my heart is honestly, truly with you guys. I hope you're recovering well. You guys know that, I mean, for you guys who don't know, we do live in the southern Arizona desert. That's in the United States of America. And it's uncommon for us to get really fast rainfall. If you've ever heard of the Grand Canyon, my viewers from around the world, it's assumed, science has, it's believed that the Grand Canyon is formed from fast-moving floodwaters, just like we had over the last 2 days. If you live in the Phoenix area in the United States of America, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There were a bunch of water rescues in the desert yesterday. Guys, forgive me while I'm talking to you because I'm actually going to be straightening out this stand as well. I want to get the height adjusted correctly. So, don't mind me. Please. It's all a work in progress. There we go. Let's get this turned around. Pardon me. There we go. So here we go. So again, if the audio or anything, something like that is going wrong, please don't hesitate. Let me know. I'd appreciate it. Let's see, are you with me? When you guys see me do something like that with the OK sign, that's me telling the gimbal to unfollow me. I don't even know how I turned that off just now. There we go. So when you see me do something like that, that's me telling the gimbal to unfollow me like it's doing right now. So guys, we have a little bit of work that we have to do in the garden today. We had some pretty good, some healthy rain yesterday. So that means that plants do what plants do when it rains, especially in the desert. They expand and they stretch so that they can soak in as much of that moisture from the air as possible. So I'm going to grab my scissors while I'm talking to you guys. If you haven't already, and we're going to start with some trimming. We're going to start with some of the chard that you see behind me right here. If you guys get a chance, if you haven't already done so, please hit like, follow, subscribe, whatever the process, whatever the steps are. I'd love to see you guys back for more. This is the new start of the season, or the start of the new season for Together We Grow Sustainable Gardening Resources. We're not exactly a farm, not at the house. We are a private research facility. We want to take the ideas, so many ideas and concepts of gardening that you may be questioning if are possible or if you can do or not. And we want to put them to practice at home to show you what you might be capable of that you might not even be aware of. So the grow beds that we're working with now, we're not working with the sustainable gardening systems on the other side. We are using a modified form of traditional gardening, which means these are soil-based grow structures. We have grow bed number 1, and we have grow bed number 2. Both of these grow beds were donated to us by the Navajo Indian Nation, and they were in a little bit of disrepair. So my family, we got together, we gave them a bunch of TLC over a couple of weeks, brought them back to life. As a child, I was always fascinated by this TV commercial, the dog food commercial, and on it they had this wagon, and the wagon would jump out the TV and just scoot around the living room. The dog would follow it. If you're in your 50s, if you're Generation X or a boomer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're younger than me, don't make fun of me. I'm having a moment right now. But the wagon would go around the living room and the dog would follow it, and it was the Chuck wagon. And my name being Chuck, I was always fascinated with this thing. So if you guys ever get a chance, if you ever look at my gardens, the grow beds from a distance, indeed, they look like the wagons, the covered wagons from old Western times. So I just hope you enjoy, and remember that gardens can be fun and gardens can be whimsical. They can be all of these things at the same time. They can be delicious, nutritious, educational as well. So, sorry guys, I'm just yapping. Let's get to chopping a little bit. Now, when it comes to trimming a chard, you'll see the leaves are broad, but you'll also see that some of them have these holes on them, these bite marks. Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to remove these ones with the bite marks on it. And I might offer a surprise for whoever can, well, actually, I'll just tell you guys the reason why. These have bite marks in them, and let me slow my speech down for all of my viewers and all of the subscribers from around the world. Pardon me, I am trying to cut back with the slang, and I do want to slow my speech down enough because I want the translators and the translation apps on your phones to work properly, but that means I have to give them the right material, correct? So I want you guys to get this information. I wanted you to get it as clear and concise as possible. So I am seriously working on that. I'm working on it. So I'm not going to bother, I'm not going to touch these plants, these leaves that already have the bite marks on them, because these are being eaten by the birds every morning. And I know this because I'm out here with the finches, I'm out here with the sparrows, I'm out here with the birds every single morning, and I'm watching them land. And there's something unique that I noticed about the bird activity in the morning. I'm pretty sure it's not just specific to my gardens, but all birds don't look alike to me. They look different. I can see the differences. I notice differences, and they all act entirely different. They do. Animals have personalities. In a sense, I feel the same way with my beautiful plant friends right here. I believe they have personality. But when it comes to the birds, every day a bird will land. The same bird will land on this same leaf and only eat from this leaf. It won't jump from leaf to leaf to leaf. It won't do that. It'll eat this one until it's gone. Then it'll move to another leaf, and it might spend weeks eating on that leaf. Now, here's what's unique about that. You won't see 20 birds come to the same leaf. Nope. You'll see a different bird on a different leaf and primarily on a different plant. It's pretty much one bird per leaf per plant. I notice this because I'm out here and I'm observing, I'm watching, and I'm spending time with them. And I came to the conclusion, partly, this is just me, my hypothesis based on just me hanging out with them. The birds know that this plant, this leaf is healthy. So the birds aren't going to do anything to ruin the health of this leaf, of this plant. The birds respect what's going on in nature. And as long as this leaf is providing, the bird's going to make sure that nothing else around it is going to stop this leaf from providing. The bird's not going to abuse these other leaves over here. This is its leaf. This is the one right here. And I noticed that by doing that, by letting the birds have that one leaf, I have like zero pest problems on my plants. Any pests that birds would be able to take care of, the birds actually take care of them on these plants. Now, guys, that's not just something that I just noticed like yesterday. This is something that I've observed, that I've witnessed, that I've noticed, that I've studied over a period of time. So it was just food for thought. This is a bio, it's what's the word? I forgot, someone had described it. I forgot how they had described it. But this is absolutely its own unique ecosystem. There is some thriving and flourishing right here. So I'm not going to touch this one that has the bite marks on it because that belongs to the birds. The ones that stretched out a lot when it was raining yesterday, I am going to remove those because over the next couple of weeks, our weather is cooling down. So these ones, I'll be removing these. And to give you an example, I'm not like a super big guy, but I'm not super tiny. And this is one of the smaller leaves that I'll be removing. And yeah, this is one of the smaller ones. Guys, this is chard, not to be confused. Even the red, matter of fact, let me do this for you, because here's a good example. I want to show you guys something. This is a second year chard plant. All right. Now, many times, this gets confused with rutabaga. Rhubarb, pardon me, I said rutabaga, not rutabaga, rhubarb, or rutabaga. Rhubarb, this isn't rhubarb. This is actually a form of, a type of chard. Same plant as this. Same plant as this. We know there's a couple of things that you can tell to tell the difference, all right? With rhubarb, you see how it's red right here, the stem is red? It would be red all the way through. Also, you can't eat the leaves on rhubarb. You can eat the leaves on chard. And you see how this stem goes from, it's like a fluorescent pinkish red, and it goes into a white. Rhubarb would be red going all the way up and be red going all the way through. So that's just a little food for thought, how you can tell the difference just visually. Also taste-wise, they taste nothing alike. And please, if you are growing rhubarb, do not eat the leaves. Do not eat the leaves. Make yourself a nice pie. My wife makes an amazing rhubarb pie. No pun intended, guys, I'm Generation X, and that just reminded me of a skit from the old WWE with The Rock in Pie. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But back to the message at hand. Let's get to trimming some more of this. This looks like a good one here, all right? Because the weather is getting cooler. This chard, and this is a second-year chard, this chard is going to explode in growth. It's the same thing with the chard that you see in the grow bed over here. These are all second-year chard plants. These will be second-year chard plants. So they've made it from a winter season all the way through the other seasons. We just started fall season just a couple of days ago. So it's going to be transitioning into winter. And these guys are the workhorses of the garden. And I'm not going to pull them, even though folks, folks say the older chard gets, the rougher it is, the tougher it is. Well, we don't really eat these ones raw. We do cook them down, just like I would do any other type of green. So it's super tender when it's finished. It's always delicious. But remember, our gardens, our grow beds, our experiment centers, the research centers, you might find yourself in a climate to where you don't have the option, or you don't have the luxury of just pulling something up and putting something back down in there. You're going to have to make these things last. So you're going to have to learn the lifespan of these plants, and you're going to have to work with them in order to get the most out of them. You'll learn a lot more about these plants, but you'll also learn a lot more about yourself at the same time. Let's get to trimming a little bit. I can already see the difference in the profile of the garden right from here. What we got? Wait a minute. I heard you about Florida. Give me a second. As I said that, in my mind, I was like, they know you live in Arizona, right, Chuck? Winter is not a thing. Unlike Game of Thrones, winter is never coming. It's So, yeah, I got you. To my international viewers, someone just posted, they said, he said, the transition to winter, and he said, we're in Florida. That's not happening. It's not. Much love to all of my friends and my family members and the supporters, the viewers who are in Florida. I'm not sure if you're being adversely affected by that nor'easter, that storm that's going up, actually it's a nor'easter, or by the weather patterns that are going on the East Coast. I hope you guys are all right. I hope all is fine and well with you and yours. We're still on these same two chard plants. Now, it may seem like it's one plant. It's not. It's not. Remember, one of the concepts that we practice when it comes to gardening, it's that multi-tiered gardening. So we have plants that are on the lower level, we have plants in the mid-tier, and we have plants in the upper tier. As the upper tier plants mature and we chop those down and we trim them down, those mid-tier plants start to thrive up. As the mid-tier plants grow, they get tall, we harvest them, we trim them down, and then the lower tier plants get to thrive, and they get to what you call it, sprawl out on the on the floor of the grow beds. So that's another thing to always keep in mind. It's one thing to plant, but know how that plant's going to advance throughout its life cycle. Keep that in mind, and you can plan out your garden just like you would be planning out the picture if you were an artist and this was your canvas. I see no difference in between the two. I don't. And this chard is so, like I said, guys, this chard is so big, I could bring the camera over here, but I don't want to ruin the angles. The stem is like this on the bottom, the main one. This thing is, it's huge, and I like it because the garden seems more Jurassic to me. And if you watch my other videos, I always tell you guys, get more out of the garden than just the vegetables. My gardens in these grow beds are backdrops for some pretty cool pictures, picture scenes, dioramas, things of that nature. Especially if you want something with a Jurassic background on it, these gardens are just magnificent. So see the vision. See the vision, put it in your garden, and then see the vision through. I've also started doing something else. Like, you see how this guy, it's had its better day, and this is deteriorating. It's being broken down, but I'm not going to remove this from the grow bed. In one of my up and coming videos, I'm actually going to put this right here, and I'm just going to put a little bit of the soil, the topsoil, right on top of it to encourage it being broken down. I noticed something the other day. As the leaves are sloughing off and falling off of some of the more mature plants, there's a natural microbial breakdown of the leaves in the gardens now. Do you realize how super excited and how just blown away and amazed I was when I saw that happening? Sorry about that, guys. When I saw that happening, it literally blew my mind, guys. I was like, this is what I've always dreamt a garden could be and what a garden could do. And it's finally doing it here. And that just amazed me. It's finally doing it here. So just to see that, and it's just nature. Nature, not even nature finding a way to exist and to thrive. It's nature doing its thing full speed ahead. And all I'm doing is giving it a little push, a little encouragement. Do me a favor, guys. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to bring this over here. All right. So I want you guys to see this. All right. Here's another leaf right here. And you can see the bite marks on it. And you can see, like, if I can zoom it in a little, you can tell that this is not, let's see, birds, Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. If I had the time, okay, for you guys who are familiar with the gardens, one of our viewers had just said it's also great in a raised bed to introduce worms into the raised bed gardens. Well, part of the reason why these are breaking down so fast and so healthily is because we have a robust red wiggler worm population in both of these grow beds. We started those populations off in the first week that we established the soil in here, which brings me to answering another question. What type of soil would I recommend that you use in your raised grow beds? Well, guys, I'm not, like I said, I'm trying to I want to keep it as simple as possible. I want to keep it as cheap as possible. I got the cheapest soil that I could find that had no additives or anything in it. I didn't pay high-end organic prices because I always assumed that you might not be able to afford to. So I'm not going to do something in my gardens that I don't think you can do in your homes. Our soil is so rich like this, A, because of the red wiggler worms, but the plants are this healthy because, embrace yourselves, the only thing we feed them right here, kitchen countertop compost. That's it. Kitchen countertop compost. I've had my friends in the and I don't want you to what you call it. This isn't like what you call it. This isn't, pardon me, yes, kitchen countertop compost, pardon me, it got lost a little bit. We do have the electric composter. I posted videos, I posted pictures about it. You guys see how these gardens look? That's all they eat. That's all they eat. We have over 90% less kitchen waste in our house. We put out far less solid trash and food waste trash. Look at the gardens. Look at the gardens. And after these guys have gone through their entire life cycles, we hang them up. You can watch in my older videos. We'll hang these guys out to dry. We'll harvest the seeds. Then we'll break down the branches. We'll break down the leaves. And they'll go right into that compost. And then they'll come right back into these gardens again. How efficient is that? Oh, so back to the leaf. Yeah. I wanted to answer that, add on to that, because I'm trying to respond to you guys in real time when I do see them pop up. But yes, a red wiggler worm population, especially in a garden this size. And we go with red wiggler worms because they don't grow super big. They're a nice small size worm and they repopulate very fast, which adds on to another thing. Chuck, you always say, and folks ask me this, well, how else can you benefit from the red wiggler worm population? Although I live in a desert, watch this one, guys. We do have some pretty unique fishing locations, even in the desert. And worms aren't super cheap out here. Well, what I managed to do is I managed to eliminate, and I hope I don't upset anyone, when I do go fishing, and I am an avid fisherman, I do love going out there, spending time in nature. I do catch sometimes, for the most part, I catch and I harvest. We eat what we catch. We eat what we catch. Unless it's something that we can't eat, then I will always put it back. Nature and conservation first, always, my friends. But I have my own bait in my house. And if any of my friends want to come over and they want to go fishing, they can easily, and it's the population is this solid in both of these grow beds. Put your hand in, take a handful of soil, turn it upside down, you're going to have 3 or 4 worms right there. I'm not going to say it's not that thick going through the entire grow bed, but that's what I'm saying. They're readily available and they're always there as a resource. So, yes, that is another eat location for a bird. So I'm going to leave that leaf alone. Same thing with this one. It's an inner leaf in here. I'm going to leave that one alone too. I am. Let's come over on this side, guys. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I do. I know I am having a blast. Let's set that right there. I'm going to come over to the other end so you can guys see it's the same garden. All right. Pardon me. Step back a little. Now we're in the same grow bed, and this is the same chard plant. Oh, I just vanished. There I am. This is the same chard plant, but we're going to try to get this broader leaf from this side. Now, you guys see this plant right here? See how this, look at this. Look how nuts that is, man. I kind of don't want to remove this leaf because aesthetically, it is beautiful. It is just beautiful. And the same thing with this one right here. Look, I don't want to ruin it. Guys, this is so pretty. Okay, just give me a second, Let me tell this thing to stop following me for a second. There we go. Let me just do this real quick. Like, look at how pretty that is. Like, look at this. I don't want to ruin this. Like, for real. This is the chard plant right here. And this leaf is just, I don't want to ruin it, man. How's it going, Shuby? Birdman represent. But I don't want to ruin this. That is just so beautiful right there. But even in this little area right here, let's turn that camera down a little bit. All right, watch this. You have beautiful ornamentals right here. I forgot what these little purple ones are called. I forgot what these little purple ones are called. Don't make me fib to you. But this is it? There you go. Greek oregano right here. Lemon balm right here. Green onion right here. Swiss chard right here. Celery right here. Thai basil right here. One of our viewers, and I'm not sure if it was on Facebook or if it was on YouTube, if it was one of our viewers here, had made the comment, because I showed them, pardon me, Thai basil, and they had made the comment, they said, Thai basil is purple. And I said, well, this is a great learning moment for them, because there are different versions of different types of Thai basil. Yes, one of them is a deep, rich purple, but the majority of them are green with hints of purple coming off of the bottom part of the leaves. So that's always something to keep in mind. Thai basil isn't Thai basil because of the color. It's Thai basil because of where the origin is and because of the taste and the flavor profile. Now, even though they may be different colors, the Thai basils are, they're basically that same, if not peppery, then that licorice punch to them. So that's just food for thought. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. So let's chop this guy. Trim leaf. Look at that. And one. Yeah, let's get this guy here. And this guy here. Now the garden's not, the garden is telling me which ones that it wants me to cut and which ones it wants me to trim, because they get a little bit lazy. They get to laying over a little bit more. And they're like, Chuck, we've gotten all we're gonna get out of this. Let us move on and let these young guys, let these young leaves step in here and get some of this energy. So who am I to argue with them? I'm like, okay, plant, I'll let you do what you got to do. And yes, my friends, I am out here talking to my gardens like that. I do that. I do wrap the fish in the leaves. Yo, we are on the same page. We are, for reals. We are definitely on the same page. I do wrap the fish. But it's funny you brought that one up, because here you go, watch this. Look at the size of this. My torso. This leaf is the size of my torso. The wind is kicking up a little bit. It's beautiful out here, guys. It is. Look at this. Like, look at this. And I'm going to be sauteing this up in a little while for lunch. I've been having a pretty protein heavy, lots of beef in my diet lately, and I really have to ease off on it. So I'm going to flush my system, cleanse it out. I'm going to get a lot of these leafy greens in me. Health is wealth, guys, and it truly is. I'm in my mid-50s, and I want to live to see tomorrow. So yeah, lots of greens, taking out the meat for a little bit, filling in with lots of greens. I got to do what I got to do. Besides, I want to stick around and hang with you guys, right? You tired of seeing this ugly mug? No, I'm not tired of seeing you. I love hanging out with you. I do have to get those scissors. There's one more thing. Give me a second. Let me give you a good view. Let me stop the camera. Bam. There you go. I'm going to go grab those scissors real quick. There's one more thing I want to harvest while I got you guys with me. And I hope I'm not boring you. I hope you're hanging out. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having as much fun as me. It's gorgeous out here in the desert. It honestly is. I'll be right back. Let me grab these scissors because I think we have to harvest some of this eggplant that we have here. And you might not be able to see some of them, but this is pretty stacked with them. So let's see, guys, let's go. Oh, here's one right in front of us. Bam. There you go. Now for this specific type of eggplant, and I forgot what the exact name of it is, but we grow this, and we went with growing this type because this is about as big as it's going to get, maybe a little bit bigger than this. And when we're growing in the desert, we want to grow smaller varieties of fruiting vegetables because resources are resources aren't that easy to come by, you know? So we have to be smart with our water. We have to be smart with, yeah, you know what I mean? So we grow smaller so that we can grow more. Except for King Robbie over there. King Robbie, he's doing his own thing. That's his own story. That's King Robbie's adventure. Oh, here's another good one right here. There you go. That's two. Let's see. And we're growing so many over here, guys. I can actually let that get a little more purple. We're growing so many over here. If you guys actually look at the bars, the ribs on this grow tent, and let me step this back a little quick because I'm often asked this question. These are actually leaning forward like this now because of the weight of the fruit from the eggplants pulling it down. And I'm not going to remove the eggplants. They're all tied up. So I'm not going to remove that. They're all trellised up. I'm not going to remove that. But it's just something that I realized. This grove, the other raised bed, it's not doing us on this one because this one, instead of bending the middle ribs, instead of bending the support ribs, which is all I did is bend them in the middle and then bracket them down to the side, these ones were actually cut and they actually have the fitting holding them together, so it's less stress on the ribs and it's a lot more rigid. So when I do rebuild this one, I'm not going to do the bent method up on top. I'm actually going to use the support structures and the attachment structures, the connectors that you can get For you folks who kind of know what I'm talking about or may not know quite what I'm talking about, if you go through my earlier videos, I show you in great detail how to build both of these raised grow bed structures, the tent structures on top. I tell you where to get the materials. I even give you the product and the model numbers on all of the pieces and where you can find all of the materials needed. All you got to do is do a little bit of footwork, go through the videos, and the answers are there for you. Another question I'm asked, Chuck, where would I start to learn all of this stuff that you know? Please don't laugh when I give you guys this answer. Just start with my first video. If you start with my first video, as awful as they may be, and they're awful, they're not that good of quality because I was learning, but start there and I assure you, you will know everything that I know when you get up to the most recent video. I'm not hiding any of this material from you. I forgot which one of the philosophers it was that said, knowledge isn't to be written down. Knowledge is to be learned, observed, and then shared. Once you write it down, you try to take ownership of it. You can't own knowledge. Knowledge is for the world to gain, my friends. I thought this little chart right here, for the longest, I thought this little guy, can you see him right here? Maybe turn up a little bit. I thought this cute little guy was done for. Him. But he's not. He bounced back with a vengeance. And here's the funny thing. I forgot all about it. I forgot that little plant was even there. That's how cool it is with gardening. It's not like the plants need you. They kind of need you to kind of get out the way. You get it started, let them get to going. They figure out things are okay, that you got all of the reasons, that the resources are all there, that they don't have to strive. It's not going to, for lack of a better word, they're not going to do themselves in trying to just see the next day. And they give you so much joy in the long run. If I were to step back and you were to look at these gardens, you wouldn't see any discernible difference in any of the plant growth. Although we've been out here just talking and chopping and trimming away. Guys, come over here real quick. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Now, this is one of our jalapeno pepper plants. And you may say to yourself, well, Chuck, I don't see too many jalapeno peppers on there. They are. They are. The beauty, once again, the thing that I've noticed about plants when they grow, peppers have very, very delicate skin, so they want to protect themselves as they're growing. So you may not see the peppers themselves, but look behind the leaves and they appear. They're not hiding. They're being protected and shielded. How cool is that? So I'm thinking some jalapeno poppers to go at lunch as well. Well, I don't know about that. I just took the beef out the diet. I don't need to explode like that. Pardon my God. I'm sorry, guys. Pardon me. Well, come on, man. I'm in my 50s. Look, but you gotta go. You gotta go. So I think we have another pepper plant right here. And these ones aren't as big, but I can tell you these ones have a lot more flavor on this plant over here. And here's why. This one over here is heavily shaded. So it's going to allow for these peppers to grow a lot more plump because it's using a lot less resources water-wise, and the plant doesn't have to put so much power and so much of its energy into leaves to provide protection for the fruit. So a lot of plump peppers on this side, but on this side, they're a little bit smaller, they're noticeably smaller, but they're way more flavorful because these guys are getting in that direct sunlight. So these guys are getting that direct energy. So I believe they're taking that and they're taking that energy, they're taking those resources, and it's going into flavor because it can't go into size because it can't compete. The sun is too hot facing from this side. It's opposite on that side. And if you actually look, you can see it. You can see the sun right here, but you can see the shade on the pepper plant over there. So same grow bed, but through scientific observation, you can notice a difference in the plants. You take that same logic, that same theory, what you've just learned, what you just observed, and you can apply that to other plants in the garden to, who knows, might be able to just get a little bit more out of your plants, get a little bit more out of your gardening experience, and bring a whole lot more to your table with your family. Well, speaking of table and family, I know it's great hanging out with you guys. It always is, but I do have to get inside. Hey, drop the pepper. I do have to get inside. I do have to prepare lunch. It's almost time. But while we've been out here, this is what we've accomplished. Let me set my scissors here. Not a lot, but and this is I was actually out here earlier doing this, but we got ourselves a few peppers. We got ourselves some fresh greens to saute up for lunch. And we got ourselves some eggplants. I hope you guys have had a great time hanging out with me. I know I've had a great time hanging out with you. Hopefully I'll see you at noon tomorrow. Try to tune in, subscribe, like, share. Hit me up with those messages. If there's something with the audio, something with the video, let me know. I know I had an absolute blast with you guys. And remember, plant that first seed and together we grow. Peace and blessings, my friends. Have a great one.